Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to do the makeup that I'm wearing right now. It is just an eyes only tutorial just to kind of save on time because this video is probably going to be a little bit long. We do also share some very exciting news in the video, which you'll have to wait until about halfway through the video to find out exactly what that is. I really like how my makeup's come out, and I used a new product that I recently got, which I think is definitely worth investing in, even though it is a very super cheap product. So if you want to see how I got this makeup look and hear from Brooke at the end of the video, then please keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to do, which I do in pretty much every single makeup tutorial I film, is apply a little bit of my P. Louise base. I recently made a really big order from P. Louise because they were having a sale that was like between 40 and 45% off. It took me like 2 days to actually get on the website and make the order, but I purchased a 30ml of the base because I use it every single day. And I also got the Badder black base, which is just their base in black, and I got a few other bits as well which I will use in some upcoming videos. I've been applying my base with a Peaches and Cream PC29, and I just find that it applies so much better than with a flat brush for me and for the kind of look that I want, and it's just so much quicker. I do like applying it with a flat brush, but I sometimes just find that it's too thick for me, and I don't need that thickness. I have a lot of luck with my eyeshadows putting quite a thin layer with this big fluffy brush. So if you're someone that doesn't like the base because you find it's too thick, try using a brush like this. Go on.
Hi Mommy's fans! Wait, you already videoing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why would you say fans?
Because they're fans.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to do eyes only in this video just to kind of save on time. I do also have some very exciting news I wanted to share and just kind of briefly chat about. I was going to do kind of a dedicated video to it, but I can't wait to like have the time to sit down and do a dedicated video, so I just want to talk about it now. So the look that I want to do today is a really intense kind of black smoky eye. I have never ever done a black smoky eye before on myself or on anyone else. And now that I have the black base, I feel like this is a really good time for me to try it. So yeah, it's just going to be eyes only just to kind of save time. I am using quite a few different palettes as well, just because I didn't feel like there was one particular palette that had all the colours I need, but obviously you can recreate using any kind of colours that you want. So I want to have quite a warm kind of outside like blend on my black smoky eye. And one of the things that I did recently when I did my makeup that I actually found really helped like blend my colours, and it was just I just really liked how my makeup came out. I did it is that I took a dark concealer. This is the Makeup Forever 5 Camouflage Cream Palette. This is in number 4. I got this in TK Maxx ages ago, and it is actually really good. And I just normally take a little bit of setting spray and just give it a quick spritz just to make it a little bit more kind of easier to work with. And I'm going to take the two kind of first colours here just on a BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, and I'm just going to pop this in my crease very lightly just to give a little bit of depth, and also just to kind of help map out my basic shape. And the thing is with this is, if you find that you go wrong and you don't like your shape, you can just go back in with the brush you used to apply the base and fix it. But this will not only help my shadows have a nicer blend, but it also just lets me see like how high I want to take my colours. And you could do this with any kind of colours that you want to work on. I do want to bring this kind of out a little bit as well, so I can really kind of see where I want my colours to go without it looking too heavy. So it does make a little bit of a difference. It doesn't look too crazy. You could use darker colours if you wanted to. any kind of darker concealer I feel like would work for this. If you had the base, like the P. Louise base, in darker colours, because they obviously do it in like quite a big variety of colours now, then that would probably also be a really good product to use. So I'm just gonna kind of build this up until I get the depth that I want, and then I'll repeat the same thing on my other eye. So now I've got my kind of basic shape. It doesn't matter how messy it is, or if you feel like it's not, as long as it's kind of blended out at the top, then what I find is now I can actually see how high I want my shadows to go. So the first couple of shadows that I'm going to use are from the P. Louise Secret Sinner palette. I absolutely love this palette. I've used it so much. This is definitely a palette that I feel really confident with. So if I don't know what look I want to do and I'm like going out, I always pretty much tend to reach for this. So I'm going to start off with the colour Love Struck, because this is a really deep, rich brown. And to put the shadow on, I'm going to use my Unicorn Cosmetics brush. This is from the class of 87, 97 collection. So I want this colour to be right on my crease. So I'm just going to take my time to really build up that shadow exactly where I want it to go. I really don't want this too high. I have mentioned in a few videos recently that I have not been feeling very well, and there is actually a reason for that. And basically I am currently over 16 weeks pregnant. I did want to announce it sooner, but I have not been feeling very well, as I've mentioned in a few videos. So England is currently under lockdown. John, who is my husband, is working from home. I am also working from home. I actually work in a school, and even though my school is currently open, I am unable to go in because of the fact that I am pregnant. So I am doing like online courses and that from home, and also creating some resources for when the school does reopen. And for those of you who don't know, I also do have a 8-year-old who is in year 3. So
That's me.
So I am having to also homeschool her at the moment as well. So between all of that, I thought I'd have a lot more time to film than what I did. If I didn't feel as sick as what I have done for the last few weeks, then I would have filmed a lot more than what I have. I'm definitely feeling a lot better. This pregnancy has definitely been quite a different one than when I was pregnant with Brooke. I had no morning sickness at all with her. You wouldn't have even like known I was pregnant apart from the obvious, you know, positive pregnancy test. So yeah, it's been very different. It's obviously been a very different experience as well, because of the fact that we are you know, isolated, and I haven't been able to like go and see my family, which has definitely not been an easy thing. And you know, there's a lot of things that you have to get ready for when you're having a baby, and we can't just go out and do the things that you would want to do. But I am obviously hoping that by the time the baby is due, that everything will be back to normal, because obviously this situation has not been nice for anybody. So yeah, that is my news. I am very excited. I will do some pregnancy videos. I just feel like the last kind of 16 weeks, or the last kind of period of me knowing that I was pregnant, I have felt very like the same. Like not a lot has really changed. There's been a few things that have obviously changed throughout. Like I can feel the baby move now, which has been really nice. I'm not really, I am kind of showing but kind of not. I feel I will do like a sit down video and kind of talk more about me finding out I was pregnant. This was a planned pregnancy, so I did kind of, you know, I knew I would have to take a pregnancy test. It wasn't a surprise in any way. We did plan it, and we have been planning it for some time. But yeah, we are really excited. Brooke is so excited that she's going to be a big sister, and she is going to be she's going to be a really good big sister. She's definitely impatient and wants the baby here right now, which, to be perfectly honest, I want the baby here right now. But yeah, we've got quite a few weeks ahead waiting, but I feel like I can make some really like fun, different content for my channel. Obviously with the whole pregnancy stuff, because I love watching pregnancy videos. I know they're not for everybody. That's my exciting news. So I've applied that colour in the kind of shape that I want. I absolutely love this brush for kind of doing that shape, and I actually took this is just like a fluffy, flat angled brush with a little bit of my base, and I just used it to kind of clean up underneath and kind of help drag out that shadow, which definitely makes it a lot smoother. And also, if you feel like you've gone too high in certain places, you could always just take the brush with a bit of the base and just go over the top, and also just kind of blur your edges, because then when you go to blend, it just blends so much better. So I'm gonna repeat the same thing on my other eye, and then I'll be right back. So I've got my kind of basic shape down, and the next thing I'm going to do is take a Morphe M506 brush. I love this brush. This is, I think, the only brush that I've ever had that I've actually bought like multiples of. And I'm going to take the colour Obsession, which is this colour next to Love Struck. It's kind of like a warm, like reddish brown colour. And like I said, I wanted to keep the kind of outside of my eye fairly warm. So I'm going to take this very lightly, right kind of almost on top of that Love Struck colour, just to make sure that not only I don't take the blend up too high, but that we have no harsh lines. I just feel like these eyeshadows blend so well together. I really, really do like them. And Paige is coming out with some new products very soon, including I think it's like a collection of eyeshadow palettes, which is separated into like transition shades, lid colours, crease colours. It's something that I am really looking forward to. Won't be able to afford to get it, so probably won't get it, to be honest, but I feel like after a while of seeing everybody getting it, I will be at the point where I'll want it. But I don't think it's coming out for another like 6 weeks or so, so I might just try and save a bit of money so that I can afford to get it. So just like that, and I've still kind of got this shape going on, but again, I can take my base on my brushes. This is the same, from the same line of BH Cosmetics brushes that I used to apply that darker concealer in my crease, and this is the number 10 brush, and just kind of like that, it sort of just blends the colour for you so that you don't have to do as much, and then you can just go back in with that Obsession colour and just kind of going back and forth between. You can get the depth that you want but kind of control it. I saw, I think it was actually one of the P. Louise makeup artists, I'm pretty sure it was Eleanor, who actually did this. She did a like a look on Instagram, and throughout the look she kept on taking a brush with a bit of the base and just kind of using it to soften the edges of her shadow, and the end result was just so, I mean, all of them, anytime they do any makeup, it's always so well blended, and they really take their time kind of going backwards and forwards with the colours and whatever products they are using, just like that. So I'm gonna again repeat the same thing on my other eye. So far it looks like this. What I'm going to do now is, I'm going to do this off camera again just to kind of save on a bit of time, is I'm going to repeat this, all the steps that I've just taken. So I'm going to go back in with that Love Struck. I really want to make sure that I don't lose any of the colours, and especially because I'm going to be going in with black, I want to give the black something to blend in, otherwise I'm just going to end up looking like I've got a black kind of cut crease, which I don't want it to look like. I want it to blend kind of seamlessly into all the colours. So I'm going to go off camera and really deepen up these shades before I finish off my blend. This is again a technique which is used a lot by P. Louise, and it's something that I tend to do quite a lot, because as you can see at the moment, I've got a lot of depth, but the richness of that Love Struck colour has gotten a little bit lost with the blending, with the kind of going in with the base to soften it up as well. So yeah, I'm going to go in with them colours and then I'll be right back to finish off the blend. I've now got a lot more kind of depth on my eyes, so I just want to finish off by blending around the outside. So this is where I might have to use a little bit of a shadow from my Beauty Bay and Mitchell palette. I'm just going to kind of see how it goes. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This is my Zoeva 228. With a very light hand, I'm going to take a little bit of Fling. I might also mix it in with a little bit of a more as well, just to kind of give it a little bit of a pinkier tone. But this shadow is quite dark, so I don't want it to be so intense on my eye. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just apply it around my blend. Make sure you also blend your inner corner as well. So I don't like eyeshadow going too high up, like kind of towards my brow bone. I just don't feel like it suits me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the colour Modest from the Mitchell palette on just on a clean, smaller, fluffy brush. This is the BH Cosmetics number 8. And I'm basically just going to use this almost like a eraser. It's going to kind of lighten up the colours and also just help it kind of blend into my brow bone. Just like that. So now I've got a nice blend going, and at this point you might be perfectly happy with how your look's coming out. I just feel like the kind of depth of the Love Struck here has kind of, there's a little bit of a harsh line here which I want to get rid of. So I'm going to take some of the Obsession colour and I'm just going to use that just to help fade it into the kind of top colours. This is obviously, these colours will vary on, you know, like people's skin tones and things like that as well. So you might find that you don't have to sort of take all these steps that I am taking, but I do feel like they help. And because I don't want a harsh line of the Obsession colour, just going in with a little bit more of Fling. And then just again going back in with the Modest colour. So it's got rid of the harsh line that I felt like I had. Just like that. So now I feel like I have to add a little bit more of Obsession on the other side just to help balance everything out. So I'm pretty happy with what I've now got. So now what I have to do is start adding in the black. I'm just going to start off by taking a wipe and just cleaning off just mostly like the centre part of my lid, just because I've got some of the base on there and I don't want it to mix with the black. So I'm just taking off a little bit, making sure that I don't really touch the inner and outer corner of my eye. I've never used this base before, and what I really want that intense kind of black smoky eye. So I'm just going to do that and then just kind of use my finger to make sure that it is all dry. Because I've never used the base before, I think what I'm going to do is blend a little bit of black kind of around like the bottom of the shadow, so that when I put the base on I can just put it on and kind of just buff it into where I put the black shadows. So I'm going to take the black from the Beauty Bay and Mitchell palette, which is the colour Mafia, and I'm just taking that on a Morphe and Jeffree Star JS6 brush. This is just like your kind of MAC 217. I very rarely very rarely tend to really play around with black eyeshadow, so I'm definitely a bit nervous. So I want to make sure it's kind of a bit below my Love Struck colour, but I want to make sure it's built up enough that when I put the base down, it has something to kind of blend into, if that makes sense. So I just want to take my time. I'm only kind of tapping into the shadow just to kind of add a little bit at a time until I'm happy with the depth. You could also go back in with your Love Struck, which I might do, but I might wait until after I've put my base down. So this shadow has nothing to really stick to, so it's not going to be kind of crazy pigmented. I want to make sure that just like that. So now you can really see the depth that I've got going on. So hopefully I can just add my black and not have to do too much. That's kind of like my aim. So I just want to repeat the same thing on my other eye. I'm just going to take the brush I used to apply Love Struck, and I'm not going to put any additional product on there, because what I then don't want to do is then lose the depth of that black. But if I blended with the brush I used to apply the black, then it's going to add a lot more black higher up, which I definitely don't want. So I'm just going to use that to blend that in just like that. So I'm going to take a metal palette with my black base, and I'm just going to pop a little bit on. I've also seen that people have said that if you use like peaches and cream pigments, or any pigments really, over the top of this, then it makes the pigment really pop, which is something that I've never thought to do. But a lot of the times when you have black as a base to a glitter, then the glitter, it has like a really nice reflex to it. So I'm going to take my Sosu and Kaylee SK05 brush. I've literally put like the tiniest amount on this palette. I really don't know how much this is kind of going to spread on my eye. And then I'm just going to begin to pat it onto my eye. Basically what I want to do with this is just fill out the blank space, because then while it's still kind of wet and more manageable, I can take a fluffier brush, a bit more of a dense fluffy brush, and just start to blend that in to the rest of my eye. It's definitely very like pigmented. It's very, very black, and it's not streaky. And because it's one of their bases and not one of their paints, it's not going to dry down. So you'll be able to put a shadow over the top, which is what I'm going to do to help kind of set it in place. Wow, I feel like that was just so easy to kind of do and achieve, and now what I'm going to do is set all of that in place. So if you're doing something like this, I would really recommend to do your eyes before you do your base, which is what I normally tend to do anyway. So I'm going to take more of that Mafia colour, that black from the Mitchell and Beauty Bay palette, tap off any excess anyway, just to kind of help avoid fallout, and I'm just going to tap it on. And again, I'm not going to take it all the way up, because what I will do, that is so intense and dark, like the difference it makes when you've got some shadow over the top. And I went in with a really light layer of that base as well, just because I'd never used it before, so I probably could have gone in a little bit more. And then I'm just going to take the brush that I used to blend the black in, and I'm just going to take it just above, very, very gently, and just blend all of that in. Just like that. I really don't feel like I could have achieved the depth of the black on my eyes without using the base underneath, because not only is it really, really intense, but I feel like it's going to help it last so much longer, and it's going to help it kind of not crease up either. Obviously at this point you can just play around with your blend if you feel like the black's kind of too harsh and you need to kind of deepen up your transition colours, and you can go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to do a little bit of gel liner just to add a little bit of a wing mostly, because you're not really going to be able to see it on my eye anyway. Put some lashes on, and then I'll do my face makeup, and then I'll come back and do my under eyes. So I've finished doing my base makeup. I also did apply some lashes, and I've done my lips as well. I've gone for like quite a darkish ombre nude. So I just need to do my under eyes, and then I am all done. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the black base because I really want to see how it is in my waterline, because I know you can use them. So I'm going to take just like a flat eyeshadow brush with some of the base on there, and I'm just going to press this into my waterline. I have quite a wet waterline. I have quite watery eyes, so I don't really feel like this is doing much. So I'm going to take some of my Tarte black eyeliner. I got this with a Tarte palette when I went to France, and I'm just going to apply this in my waterline instead. It could just be a case of that I didn't use enough because I put a little bit on there, so I will have to play around with that a little bit more. But all the other bases that I have used, I've used them in my waterline, and they've always worked out very well. So I'm just going to take a small eyeshadow brush. This is my Sosu and Kaylee SK06 brush, and I'm going to take a bit of the Mafia, the black from the Mitchell palette, and I'm just going to press that very carefully onto my waterline, and also just bring it down onto like my lash line a little bit. Not only will this help last, like help the black in my waterline last a lot longer, but it will also allow my shadows to blend in a lot better. I have set my under eyes, so the shadows will be on a dry kind of base, but I'm just going to use the same colours I used on the top, on the bottom, and I probably will for the most part just use the same brushes as well. So I'm going to take my little Unicorn Cosmetics brush with a bit of Love Struck and just apply a fairly generous amount underneath my eye. Just like that, and then I'm going to take my Morphe M506 and the colour Obsession and just blend that out, and also try and connect it up with the top as well. And then I'm not actually going to go in with the Fling colour, just because I like my under eyes to be very, very, very smoky. So I'm going to take the brush I used to apply the Modest colour kind of above my eye, and just use that to soften it up. So I'm not adding any product on, I'm just using it to blend that out. Just like that. Just very kind of almost messy and smoky. And then to make my inner corner pop, I am going to use... I'm going to start off by using a little bit of Nylon eyeshadow from MAC, which is a very kind of icy gold shadow. It really reflects really nicely, just like that. I'm going to take a little bit of my Doll Beauty highlighter, because this is what I used to highlight my face, and just pop a little bit of that on top just to give it that extra kind of pop. That is the eyes complete. I just need to add some lower lash line mascara and quickly fix my hair, and then I will be right back. That is the makeup all done. I'm actually really, really, really happy with how it came out. I feel like it makes my eyes look really like light as well. I was really scared that it would make my eyes look really kind of small, but I think it would complement like a lot of eye colours, and especially because you can really, like, if you wanted to do like a more cool toned blend, then it could completely change how the look comes out, it could look a little bit more almost grungy. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful if you've never done a black smoky eye like me. I really feel like this made it a lot easier for me to do, and I wasn't having to kind of like layer up a lot of black because it's so sticky as well. It really, like the black shadow really kind of sticks to it. I have Brooke here, who has not been in a video for so long, and she has done her own makeup today.
Yeah.
Which she always looks so cute when she does her makeup. Do you have something you want to tell everybody?
That I'm going to be a big sister.
When are you going to be a big sister?
October the 6th, maybe?
Well, yeah, that's when it's due. I will film some more kind of pregnancy related videos, and I'll probably film, and I really want to film some more videos with Brooke, especially now her hair is like crazy long, so we can do a lot of hair videos now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you
subscribe and comment down below and give it a big thumbs up.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.